What's going on, you guys? Got some sad news to say. Unfortunately, Charlie Kirk has passed away from his injuries um, after being shot in the neck at his, I guess you can call it a rally, but it wasn't a rally, but he was at a college in Utah. I actually spoke about this on my YouTube channel, both channels. Go ahead and check them out. But I just gotta say, like, this was pointless. This was senseless. This was disgraceful. And that people are championing this and literally congratulating and literally saying, like, good for him, he deserved it, because he aligned himself with Trump, he deserves this, his family deserves, like, what the fuck is that shit? Like, dude, like, is this seriously what we are as a country, where people actually celebrate death? They celebrate tragic situations like this just because they don't like a certain side of politics. Like, I couldn't believe that shit. Listen, whatever your views are, whether it's with Trump, whether it's with politics as a whole in this country, there's flaws on both sides. But we can't sit here and act like this is okay, because it's not. This is not okay. A man just died, a young man, no older than me. He's a year older than me. And what he stood for in this country was amazing. What he preached about when it came to traditional values in this country, what he preached about when it came to not being voiceless, being okay with being a conservative, being somebody that has values, that prioritizes who you are as an individual. That's what he stood for. And you got people on these stupid networks talking about, well, because he aligned himself with Trump, this is what happens. These are the consequences and blah, blah, blah. What the fuck? Are y'all serious right now? Y'all going political with this shit? But y'all blame Republicans for that shit. Fucking hypocrites. I can't stand that. I can't stand the hypocrisy. And yeah, it happens on both sides. But when tragedy strikes, we're supposed to come together. Like, I went live on YouTube literally about maybe 30 minutes after it all happened. And he wasn't pronounced dead at this point. He was still in critical condition. And I just remember saying to myself, what are we doing here? Like, I was watching a podcast. I was watching Larry with Larry O'Connor, which is a great podcast, by the way. He does amazing things, and he tells the truth. And, like, watching some of those comments roll through during the live stream, it pissed me off. Like, it pissed me off because I'm like, is this seriously what we are? This is where we're at now, where we celebrate moments like this. Like, this is okay. This is not okay. This is not okay at all. And I was triggered. I was pissed. Like, a young man at that point was just shot with his family in attendance, by the way. His wife was right there. His 2 children were there. His family was there. So why is this okay? And to make matters worse, Utah just changed their open carry policy months before this all happened. So if they had not done that, this senseless tragedy wouldn't have happened. This wouldn't have happened. And it's like, oh God, I just don't get it. Like, how many more tragedies do we need to see in this country before shit needs to change? How many more? Like, what's it gonna take for people to wake up and realize that this is a serious problem? And I'm not talking about it just because, oh, it's Charlie Kirk and, he was inspiration. He was an inspiration. But this is about the foundation of our country. This is about who we are, what your values are. What do you really value in life? Do you value security, safety, and prosperity and happiness? Or do you value being politically right and having an agenda and all this other shit? It's pointless. It's stupid. Like, who cares what side of the aisle you're on? I saw people literally saying, good, I'm glad he's dead. Like, do you understand his family has to see this? His family has to read these comments, or they see these comments, or they're approached in the street by random strangers. They're going to have this problem moving forward. Unfortunately, sadly. And I just think about his 2 children. Like, I don't know if it's 2 daughters or a son and a daughter, but His children now have to live with the fact that their father passed away because someone didn't agree with him. Like, that is the most that is the most pointless thing ever. And the ironic thing is, and it's sad, but the ironic thing is, that was the whole point of his whole movement. Prioritizing free speech, not being afraid to stand up for what you believe in. And saying, yo, like, this is what's important to me. If you stand with me, great. If you don't, let's have a conversation. Let's have a dialogue. And he welcomed that. He welcomed that with open arms, and he accepted everybody and all opinions. And that's what made him great. That's what made him a legend, an icon. That's why the movement he created was so powerful. Yes, did it get Trump elected? Yeah, in part. But his message is what really resonated with people like me, people who have an open mind to things. And you gotta have an open mind. You can't stay closed off. And that was his message ultimately. It wasn't about his policy or what he agreed or disagreed with. It was about, listen, free speech, free dialogue, open world. Let's have a conversation. And the sad part is, it's what got him killed. And that's what sucks. That's what's tragic about this. And so I hope, if you're out there and you watch this or you watch other coverage of of what happened, and all the news, programs are going to talk about it. They're going to politicize it. They're going to talk about his connections with Trump and the MAGA and right wing and all this other shit. That doesn't matter. This was a tragedy. This was something that didn't have to happen. It shouldn't have happened. This is not the time to politicize tragedy. We should never do that. If we do, we're no worse than the killer or killers. We're no worse than that. So I just had to say that. Like I said, I went live on YouTube. Go ahead and check it out. The link's in my bio. But this was just sad. This was honestly just sad, and I'm hurting because it just didn't have to happen. It really didn't have to happen. But rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. Prayers to his family. I can't imagine what they're going through. Like, I can't imagine what they're going through. I really can't. But yeah.